Hey friends, it's Allison here, jumping in real quick before you get into all the juicy details of today's episode. Did you know there is just one more week left to our 200th episode giveaway where you have the chance to win a full ride scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint? This is the way to heal your gut so that you can poop daily, ditch acid reflux, and balance your hormones even when nothing else has worked. Here's how you can enter. Leave a rating and review on the Better Belly podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify between now and May 29th. Take a screenshot of that rating and review, then go to betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway and fill out our 200th episode giveaway form. You will automatically receive an email with a code for $200 off the Better Belly Blueprint, which you're going to get as soon as you send in that form. And then a full scholarship winner is going to be announced on May 30th and messaged by email. If you win, you're going to win a full scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint. And if you don't win, you can still get $200 off, which is 20% off of the Better Belly Blueprint if you join by May 31st at midnight. So go ahead and leave a rating and review. Get that giveaway form filled out at betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway, and you can finally end your constipation, acid reflux, and PMS for good. Welcome to the Better Belly Podcast, where we find freedom from food restrictions, we increase energy in our lives, and we begin to feel healthy and vibrant again by finding the root cause of our gut health problems. My name's Allison Jordan, marathon runner, functional medicine practitioner, certified craniosacral therapist, gut health nerd, lover of Jesus, and owner of the Better Belly Therapies, a clinic based in Ann Arbor, Michigan that works with both virtual and local clients to help them achieve the best health of their life. I am here to walk with you on your journey to a better belly and a better life. We're going to go beyond popping a probiotic and checking out our poop. In this show, we are going to go deep into gut transformation strategies that last for life. If you're ready to feel your best, get ready to roll. You are in the right place. Thank you for listening to the Better Belly Podcast. Just a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make changes. Happy New Year, guys! It is December 31st. I have loved how so many of the holidays that I follow, and also the New Year, have fallen on Thursdays this year. I mean, okay, Thanksgiving always falls on Thursday, but Christmas Eve fell on Thursday, New Year's Eve is falling on Thursday, and while you may not be listening to this podcast because it's the New Year's or because of the holidays, you also might be. And it's just very exciting for me to record these knowing that they're coming out on very special days. If you are joining us today on a holiday, I am so grateful if you're joining us on New Year's Eve, because it must mean that we are a podcast you look forward to listening to, and it's just so special. So happy holidays to you all whenever you are listening to this. So this month, in December 2020, I wanted all of our episodes to bring you encouragement, hope, and vision for the future. We started the month with an episode on my most recent health update, the fact that I found a parasite in my body this year, and I killed it and felt a lot better after that. You can check out episode 18 if you want to hear more details on that. In our next episode, we went into 10 ways to de-stress during the holidays. If you didn't listen to it and are feeling a little stressed out, could be something you could go back and listen to, give really practical tips, and choose just one thing, maybe out of the 10 that you could engage with. And we also have spent time reflecting on all of your health achievements this year. And I shared some of my achievements, and we also took time to dream and plan for what you want to accomplish this coming year. Lastly, on Christmas Eve, we had a client of mine come and share her story of suffering through chronic pain, surgeries, chronic nausea, and insomnia, and overcoming all of these symptoms beyond what any of her doctors ever said was possible for her. That is our last episode that came out, and it's incredible. I have cried many times with my client. We called her C on the podcast, and her story is a story of perseverance. And if you are at all struggling in any hope for your health, Her story is amazing, and it's not a fairy tale. It is a fairy tale in many ways because she is better than doctors said she would be, but it's also not a fairy tale because it wasn't immediate. And she just has a very down-to-earth story that I hope you all find encouraging this season. So this month, I hope, has been a month of encouragement for you through this podcast. And if you have not listened to all the episodes yet or missed one, I would strongly encourage you to go check them out. I made them just for you and with the intent and purposes that it makes your 2020 and the end of your 2020 a little brighter. So today, I wanted to finish up the year and do an episode on my number one wish for you this coming year. Yes, you listening, whoever you are, we have so many listeners. This is my number one wish for all of you, that as we are making New Year's resolutions this time of year, and I know some people don't make them, and I honor that you still counts. This is still my number one wish for you. But I've learned that with my New Year's resolutions in the past for many years, I never made mine big enough. What I found was that at the end of the year, so if I had made a New Year's resolution in 2020, by the end of 2021, I would look back and realize I accomplished way more that year than I gave myself credit for, or that I thought I would at the beginning of the year. I've also had years where my New Year's resolution was fueled by pride or just like trying to imitate other people's resolutions. And those are often the years where nothing came true for me, or at least my resolution didn't come true for me. And I would look back and be discouraged, like, oh, nothing happened. I clearly am not cool enough or strong enough or smart enough or have enough willpower, etc., to accomplish this thing that maybe some other person had accomplished. And yet, ultimately, when I focused on what was in my heart, part of the journey that I was on, my dreams were coming true as I made resolutions. When I focused on the right dreams and when I let myself dream big enough, I actually made things happen. If you are interested in diving in a little bit more onto reflecting on this year and dreaming more for next year and kind of just tackling that a little bit, we have it more in episode 20, and you can listen more on that. But for today, I wanted you to hear that my attitude that I want you to have going into this new year, 2021, the year after COVID, is this: believe for more. Believe for more. This is my number one wish for all of you. Why? Because while belief is not the only thing you need to achieve your goals, you also need planning and investment of your time and energy and money. While belief is not the only thing you need to achieve your goals, lack of belief can be the only thing that will keep you from your goals. Well, why is this? Because if you don't believe something is possible, you definitely will never try. You will never invest. You will never even look for an answer. If Christopher Columbus didn't believe he'd ever hit land when sailing west, he wouldn't have ever left Spain. He also didn't know when he'd hit land. He could never tell anyone when he'd hit land, how long it would take, what the land would look like, but he believed he would hit land. And so I find that many people I start working with, when we start our conversations, they feel like their body's a mystery. I know I've been there where I'm like, why is my body giving out all these symptoms and none of the doctors are suggesting it makes sense and no one has answers for me? I am telling you, your body makes sense. Your body, your life, your symptoms. My clients all the time are discovering how their symptoms are all interconnected. Just this week, I was in a conversation with a client of mine in my office, and we were discussing her health history, and we learned that all of her GI symptoms started when she started the pill to control her period when she was 15. And she had actually recently suggested to her doctor, is there any chance that the pill, which she had to up her dosage in college, and that's when her GI symptoms just skyrocketed. She said to her doctor, is there any chance that the pill is causing my GI symptoms or somehow impacting them? And her doctor said that was impossible. But the truth is it's not. So I was telling her about it's very well documented that plenty of women experience either new or increased IBS symptoms and or SIBO onset with starting the pill. There's a lot of science that goes into it. It has to do with your gallbladder. It has to do with motility. It has to do with bacterial balance and how hormones can affect, and honestly, putting hormones into our body can affect that. But when I told her this, she felt so affirmed. She's like, no way. And we looked up a book that she could read. I suggested for her to read Dr. Jolene Brighten's book, Beyond the Pill. And she's one of the top experts on studying something called post-birth control syndrome, which she honestly kind of termed herself and has been really trying to show doctors in the community that it exists, that when going off the pill can be as harmful as being on it. And her whole book goes through balancing your hormones. What I love about Dr. Jolene Brighten is that she also is so adamant about how connected the gut is to our hormones. And so if you are trying to balance your hormones and heal your hormones so you can heal your period, so you can become fertile, so you can, not have crazy PMS symptoms, all these different things that are hormones controlled to improve our energy, our skin, all these things also connected to the gut. And so there are always connections between your body and your symptoms. And for my client, we also discussed the hope that all of her symptoms can be reversed. And it was a very, very hopeful conversation for her. So after my own long journey in health, I also want to say from my experience, believe for more. There is more out there for you. There are answers to your questions about your body. There are people who can point you in the right direction, whether it's friends who've experienced something similar or another practitioner who has answers or another practitioner who knows someone that you could go to. There are people out there who can point you in the right direction. And another encouragement, you don't need willpower to solve your health problems. In fact, your health problems are not because you don't have enough willpower. I say that from the depth of my heart, being that that's what I believed for so many years was the reason that I had low energy, the reason I was depressed, the reason this, and that was because I didn't have enough willpower. And the truth was that I had root cause problems going on in my body that were making me feel crazy, crazy weak, crazy tired, crazy moody, crazy depressed. And when you get to the root of your health problems, where your symptoms are actually coming from, you will need less willpower for all of your life. Getting out of bed, making the right food choices, all of this will become much easier. And I want you to even think, like, when you think about the word disease, which is the state someone is in when they're sick, if you split it up, it's dis-ease. And when you're healthy, you get rid of the dis and you just get ease. Life becomes more easeful, more easy, and you don't need willpower. So you have the energy, love, and knowledge to achieve the goals that you want. And if you don't have it now, it is out there. It exists. So I've been talking to my husband about manifestations lately. Before he and I got married, he'd never heard of this thing called manifestation. And if you don't know what it is, you're in the same boat as my husband. He was like, manifest what? And the idea is that by focusing on something in your mind, you actually increase its chances of happening. You draw it closer into reality. So I'm a super sciencey person. I'm a Enneagram 1. I'm really about black and white. I want things to make sense. I am not inherently someone who's drawn towards things that I can't explain. Honestly, I want to somehow be able to explain it. So I'm like, even if I can't understand it, can I explain it? Okay. And so he and I have been talking about manifestations, and this is very important too. When I say belief for more, belief is a word for manifesting something. Like if you don't believe it's possible, it totally won't manifest. And if you do believe it's possible, you'll actually take steps towards it happening. So 13 months that my husband and I have been married, he's heard a lot of different renditions about manifestation. And the truth is that it's interesting how many different fields of study actually support the concept of belief or things that you focus on in your mind actually coming to fruition, actually becoming reality. Psychologist Gay Hendricks calls it breaking your upper limit, and he writes about it in his book, The Big Leap. When your upper limit is like this thermometer inside of you that says this is a normal temperature, anything above or below is not good, and that normal temperature is what you strive for, and that temperature is your happiness, it's your wealth, your abundance, your relational contentedness. It's all these different things inside of you that says, this is how good my life is, how peaceful I'm allowed to feel. And we can actually, if we go above that upper limit because something good happens to us, it can make us feel really nervous. Like something bad's going to happen. Things are going to fall apart. Like it's not allowed to be this good. I want you guys to think in your life, if you've ever felt that way, where maybe you get a really good grade or you get a really good job or you get into a really good relationship or you get a raise and you're thinking the ball's going to drop, someone's going to get sick, something's going to happen. That fear, that anxiety that comes up is us hitting and going above our upper limit. But when you spend time, you can actually push that upper limit higher, where you feel more comfortable at a higher state of enjoyment, of abundance, of goodness in your life. You become more comfortable. And not only that, when you push your upper limit higher, you actually strive for it because you're like, whoa, why is it so chilly in here? My temperature, my thermostat says it should be warmer in here. And so we become very comfortable when we push our upper limit higher with actually making our lives better. Other thought leaders have talked about things like vibrations. So vibrations exist in nature. Sound, like you listening to this podcast, is a experience of vibration. If you listen to someone singing, like think about beautiful singing and ugly singing, like they're all vibrations, but it's the quality of the vibration that really makes something impactful, how deep it is, how high it is. And vibrations, they exist in things like glass. When sound hits it, the piece of glass can vibrate. So vibrations can exist in matter. Light has a very fast vibration speed. And I'm not a physics major, so I feel like I want to talk about this more intelligently, but that's the most I can do right now, guys. So maybe we'll have a physics expert come on sometime to talk about vibrations. But vibrations in nature aim to match each other and they transfer to other people. And so some people talk about the reason manifestation and the reason like focusing on what you're believing in your mind can impact the places around you is that your internal consciousness can create vibrational changes around you. So in your home, in your relationships. And so, of course, usually if you're someone talking about vibrations, higher vibrations, they're warmer. Literally, like if something's vibrating faster, it's warmer, has more energy, it has more potential for changing things. And so when we're depressed, when we are anxious, when we're fatigued, we're operating at very low vibrations because we don't have a lot of energy. We don't have a lot of heat. And then, of course, when we are operating at higher vibrations, we have more energy, we have more heat. You can change more when you have more vibrational energy because vibrations, energy, heat, light, they're all kind of interchangeable and they all transfer in different ways. It's very, very interesting. And so even think a little bit about flames. So fire, you can have a candle versus a bonfire has a very different potential. And if you're trying to get a rocket ship out of gravitational pull and into space, you need even more firepower. So yes, if you want to change your world, sometimes you need to change what's going on inside of you. You need to give yourself better fuel. You need to give yourself something more than a candle, which is nice, and a bonfire, which is warm, and something a little bit more like rocket fuel. Some people will talk about manifestations being kind of like energy. Energy exists in our body through heat. Think about our blood and our muscles, electricity, which is in our neurons. We have energy all throughout our body. And when we're sick, of course, our energy is getting depleted in weird ways. It's not getting to us in the way we need. It's like caloric heat. Energy is not maybe being transferring the way that we want it to because of microbiome imbalances, all this different stuff. So we want to, in our mind, be able to say, here, I'm going to control and I'm going to imagine what it's like to have the proper amount of energy. And so Lastly, a good way to think about manifestation is like building a building. This is just like very simple and plain. If you don't have blueprints to build something, you're going to be cutting willy-nilly and you're probably going to end up with a sideways or something that'll just collapse. Like it won't work. And if you don't have blueprints, you probably won't even try to make something because you know you need blueprints to make something that's efficient, correct? And so when we dream, when we envision in our mind and we believe for more and we say, what would my life look like if this wasn't in it or if this was in it? And we think about it very clearly. We're creating blueprints. We're actually creating a breadcrumb trail that our brain can follow and say, okay, like this is what it will feel like. This is what I need to do to get there. It's much, much easier when we're thinking about what we want our life to look like versus what we think it'll continue to look like versus focusing on what we currently have. We end up kind of recreating those scenarios around us over and over again. So belief matters. What you believe is possible, what you believe in, whether that's yourself, God, family, other things, and what you believe about those things, yourself, God, family, etc., completely changes your behavior. It changes what you're willing to spend time on, what you're willing to spend energy on, what you're willing to spend money on, looking for answers, investing, trying something different. So if you and maybe point is super clear, but I also just want to say, like, another way to think about it is like, if you believe investing in stock will make you a better return than savings in a bank, you will invest in stock. And if you don't believe it will give you a better return, if you believe it's too risky, you won't invest in stock. And so belief changes everything. That's why I want to encourage you guys. My phrase for you this year, 2021, is believe for more. I want you to believe for more in your health in particular. So right now we're going to take a moment and we're going to envision that more in 2021. I've been doing this lately, particularly for around July 2021, which is when I am due to give birth. I've been thinking about what it will feel like to be in my third trimester of pregnancy. I've been thinking about how I want to give birth, where I want to be when I give birth. I'm kind of interested in a home birth as long as I don't have a high risk pregnancy. I've thought about what room I'll be in, which is nice because I know what my home looks like. So it makes it easier to imagine it. I've thought about who will be around me, a doula, a midwife, my husband. I thought about what I'll know at that point that I don't know now, but I want to think about I'll know different birthing positions I can try, ways that I can open up my hips. I have this they're like that periphery. I know that I don't know. And those are the things that I've manifested and have thought through in my mind. This is my goal for 2021. And this is what I believe is possible. Also, I've been really manifesting and believing for more that my business will be taken care of by all of my employees while I'm on maternity leave, while I'm recovering from giving birth. I will have built systems. I've sat there imagining the systems in my business that will take care of all of you guys as I'm gone, but as my employees are serving you, that people will still be able to be served while I'm gone because I, thankfully, am not God and don't need to take care of everything. And in fact, I want to create a business that is sustainable where people can get service and get really quality things for multiple people at multiple hours during the week, even when I'm not available. I want to be peaceful during my pregnancy. This is all of my trimesters. My baby can feel my emotions during pregnancy. I want to be able to sing to my baby. I want to have this incredible relationship with my fetus, my child, where it is starting to engage with abundance mindset and to know it's taken care of. It has enough food. It has enough emotional support. It has enough, even if life hits bumpy roads, it has enough. And so I have been really cultivating in my mind what and how I want to be thinking about things and believing for those things, believing for more, manifesting them, spending time adjusting so that is my normal. That is my normal thermostat. That is my limit. And of course, I want my upper limit to probably always be higher because no one wants to bump into a glass ceiling. Am I right, guys? And this is more like an invisible ceiling. really bonks you every time. So I've done manifestations for my house, what my house will look like, my schedule, how I want my time organized, my physical health, how strong I am or how much energy I have. I've also done it with pooping because my main problem when I went to my pelvic floor therapist in 2016 was I wasn't pooping. And I remember thinking like, oh, if only I could poop every day, or at least, I don't know, every other day, that would have been an improvement. Probably every third day, I think, would also have been an improvement. It was really bad, guys. And I thought about that and I was like, this is what I'm imagining for my future self. It's not my truth right now, but it's that much more going to be my truth because I'm thinking about it. I'm believing for it. I'm searching for the answer. And I found the answer. It's crazy, guys. It's 2020 and I have the answer. I have very good bowel movements. So there were years that I didn't do manifestations or honestly believe for more. I didn't know that they existed. And I was super suspicious in like college, high school. Things were hard and I had no hope. I was very depressed. I didn't know if I was allowed to hope and I didn't know if it was safe to hope. Those were my justifications for why I wouldn't believe for more. I'm like, well, gosh, why would I believe for more? Things suck. It just seems like a way to be discouraged. And so if you are in that place, I want to encourage you. It's just not true. You can have more. There is more out there for you. And that there are probably things that have beaten you down thus far, experiences, things people have said to you, things that experiences in particular. But that doesn't mean that that's all there is to life. Before Christopher Columbus hit the opposite side of the world on a circular globe, the belief until then was that the world was flat and that you would fall off the edge and die. And so all of their experiences of this vast ocean to the west told them there was nothing out there beyond that. And that just wasn't true. So experiences can fuel us, but they can't, not necessarily and often, rarely, the full extent of truth. So I'm giving you permission now to hope. Do it with me, do it for me. Maybe you were alone before. Maybe you didn't know where to go or who to talk to, but hope with me. You're not alone anymore. You're listening to this podcast. You're taking in information from here or elsewhere. You can have a stronger and healthier body. The information is out there that you need. Someone understands your body. And if it isn't me, I would love to point you to someone who you can talk to. That's part of why we have guest experts come onto the podcast. I'm always looking for someone who's an expert in something to point y'all to. I've already helped several people find specialists who can help them if it seems I can't. And for those who I can help, we've seen incredible changes in their life, changes where they don't need as much willpower to get through their day-to-day life, changes where they're able to sleep through the night, like my story with C, changes where they're able to have less pain and be able to eat more types of foods. It is just simply gorgeous. So believe for more. I am curious, what did you just imagine? What were you doing? Was it being able to get up in the morning with energy or without pain? Were you able to eat food without nausea or without gas and pain? Was it eating certain foods you haven't been able to eat for a while, or having skin that is clear of acne or rashes or eczema? I am believing for more with you. Your vision that you just had is beautiful and worthy, and it's possible. There is so much possible for your health. I believe in your health, with you and for you. Thanks so much, y'all, for joining us on the last episode of Better Belly Therapies for 2020. But don't worry, we will be back next week, actually. We have several months planned of awesome content for y'all, and I'm so excited to be sharing with you in January, February, March. We have incredible guest speakers, episodes where I'm going to be sharing great information with y'all. I am very, very excited for you to hear it. So if you want my eyes on your health sooner than that, though, I have free 30-minute consultations available where I can hear your health story and we can see if we're a good fit for each other. I love talking with people, hearing their story, and just getting an idea of what is possible for their body. I believe that there is more for you in your health, and I'd love to chat with you. If this is something that you are interested in and want to see if working together would be right for you, you can go down to the link in the show notes, schedule a 30-minute free complimentary complimentary consultation or go to our website, betterbellytherapies.com/chat and sign up there. If you love this episode, though, as I already said, we have a lot more coming down the line. You can subscribe so that you get all of our episodes and content goodness. Also, if today's episode encouraged you or if you thought about somebody as you were listening to it, can I ask for you to take a screenshot and share this with a friend? I cannot count how many times I tell someone I'm a gut health therapist and someone tells me I know someone who needs to talk to you. So send that friend you thought of a love note to their gut with this screenshot and pass this podcast along to them. Also, if you have been enjoying this podcast, I would love if you left us a rating and review on whatever format you were listening on. It is so helpful when other people can see that this podcast is helping other people and just gets this into more listeners and more hands as people are looking for answers for their health. Other ways you can stay in the conversation is by following us on Instagram and Facebook at Better Belly Therapies. I love connecting with you all, and it means so much if you drop by and said hi. And remember, for the end of 2021 and forever, miracles are immediate. We always want them in our health, but healing takes time, and it's okay if we're getting better in layers. Have a great year, guys.